It's been a long time coming, but it was always inevitable. Media Molecule's Dreams on PlayStation 4 is coming to a close. Announced that not only will it cease official support by September 1st, but that many limitations and restrictions will be imposed with the migration of its new servers in May. Whilst none of this constitutes as a complete shutdown, the game can still be played after the September date, but it's certainly the final nail in its coffin in terms of growth, ending any hopes of it ever reaching its true potential. So, let's take a look at exactly what was said by themselves in their statement, how Dreams will change for the worse, and how this will affect new and existing players. First of all, the biggest revelations. Dreams will not receive any of its bigger promised or alluded to features. This includes online multiplayer, a native PS5 edition, PSVR 2 support, and the ability to export your creations via 3D printing. All of this is extremely disappointing news, as these were all features that were highly requested and anticipated by the core Dreams community for years. It feels terrible to finally realise that all of the good faith and waiting around for Dreams to evolve was all for nothing. Take nothing away from the existing Dreams experience, it's still a powerful and flexible tool for your creative needs, but there are some of us in the community who needed more, and that's just as perfectly valid as those who wanted to use it purely as a casual hobby to dip in and out of. The confirmation of these features being removed from the pipeline will definitely discourage many, and they will walk away and say farewell to Dreams once and for all. With those bigger features having been covered, let's look at the small, yet still massively important changes to come. With the migration of the servers, it comes with brand new limitations and restrictions. Previously, online storage was limitless. You could upload as many creations and versions of those creations as you wanted. Now, you will be limited to 5GB of online storage. What this means is that you'll have to delete content to make room for new content. That, or continuously create new PSN accounts to gain another 5GB. This will take into effect when the servers transfer from the end of May. Since the creations you upload currently won't count towards this limit, there seems to be a sly workaround. If you upload blank scenes and elements before the server switchover date, you can effectively store plenty of space for future projects, without having to touch the new 5GB cap or the total amount of creations cap. But it's yet to be confirmed if this workaround will be considered abuse of the servers. The limits also extend to the amount of creations uploaded, which will be a total of 256, the versions a creation can have, basically how many online saves it can have, with the limit being 512 per creation, and photos also being capped at 256. I'm not sure if they had limits beforehand, but these are the new figures. Archiving will no longer be a thing, so you can finally delete things even when saved online, which is something that should have been addressed before all of this. You can also release publicly now using private creations, which is another welcome, long overdue addition. Prize bubbles will be removed, community jams will cease to exist, and some imp quests and trophies will be removed or altered. One feature being removed that's heavily annoyed me is the audio importer. It will be removed entirely until October, a month after official support for Dreams ends. I use audio and voice acting frequently in my creations, so this comes as a bit of a blow. There is a cable you can buy which can bypass this, but I've had mixed results with poor audio and sometimes just flat out not working at all. This will be a feature I'll miss immensely. There's no more Twitch integration with the removal of Twitch Buddy. They are removing a bunch of notification features like activity feeds and mentions. Scoreboards will be altered to remove friends' scores and only display the top 100 players. You can no longer visit another player's home space. The in-Dreams site will be heavily cut down. You can no longer link to creators or creations in the titles and descriptions. You can no longer play a creation directly from there, send anything to your imp, or use the keyboard entry function. The limit of photos you can take before saving has been reduced to 15. The trial version of the game will be completely removed, and some changes to comfort ratings being visible on VR creations. Community events such as Jams, All Hallows Dreams, the Impy Awards and Dreamscom will also end indefinitely. have no plans to work on Dreams 2, as they've even stated that their new game has nothing to do with the Dreams IP at all. It's yet to be determined if their next game will even include user-generated content, or if it will be a single-player game in the style of their previous game, Tearaway. Overall, I'm extremely disappointed in this announcement, as I'm sure many of you are. The writing was always on the wall for Dreams with how poorly it's been managed by the lack of robust marketing from Sony. Many still don't know exactly what value Dreams can provide, and that's if they even know Dreams exists in the first place. I wish every bit of success, and I hope we can one day see the full realisation of Dreams in the future. But for now, after reading the reactions and speaking with a few fellow Dreamers, it's clear that many will end their association with Dreams and move on to better things. It's a sad end for a game which was promised to have a 10-year lifespan when it didn't even make it halfway. I can't fault too much, as I'm sure their hands were tied with a lot of things, but I just can't hide my bitter disappointment. It would be foolish of me to assume have a big trick up their sleeve and their next game will be a true evolution of Dreams. This thought has to stay far from our minds. All we can do is wait patiently and see what they come up with next, with no real expectations to avoid yet more disappointment. This video has been pretty raw for me to make, and it's going to take a few weeks to wrap my head around it all. We can continue to support Dreams as a community, or what is left of the community anyway, and just take Dreams as a casual piece of creative software in the weeks and months to come. As for my own survival horror game that I've been developing in Dreams for over 3 years now, I doubt I'll be able to continue development in the current state that we find ourselves in. I'll need to think things over if it will be worth continuing and what format it may take. One thing's certain, I love making video games and content. That's never going to change. The tools and how I present those creations to the world may change though. I'll keep you all updated on what's to come from the channel and the games I plan to make once everything is made clearer for myself. I hope this news hasn't disheartened you as much as it has me. Like I said, you can continue to use Dreams in its current state until the day it eventually does go offline. But until then, enjoy your time with it or spend your time elsewhere, whatever makes you happy and feel creatively fulfilled. I will continue to somewhat support Dreams in the meantime, so until the next video, have a great day.